सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्. We are in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, and completed up to the 34th sloka. And now we have to take up 35th sloka. Before that, we'll just quickly do the recap. If Atma has to be recognized, we require a special mirror which is capable of revealing the Atma. The local mirror can reflect only the Sthula Sariram. The local mirror cannot even reflect our mind. What to talk of Atma? Therefore, we require a special mirror which is called the Shastra Darpana. The words of the scriptures which are capable of revealing our own nature to ourselves. And it is not enough that we have a mirror. We should also know how to use it, how to use the mirror properly. If the mirror is improperly used, it cannot reflect your face. If you stand on the other side of the mirror where the shining face is not there, where the shining surface is not there, you cannot see your face. In the similar way, if the mirror is full of dust, you cannot see your face properly. It will be dull and very hazy picture. Therefore, Guru holds the mirror and tells you how to use the mirror and how to see yourself in the mirror. In the same way, the Shastra mirror, the Shastra Darpana, Guru holds and introduces yourself unto you. So it is always advised in the Shastra, you have to approach a proper Guru, and through Guru you should know your own real self. In Taittiriya also, we have a special Anvaka where it says, you have to approach the Guru who is Aluksha Dharmakamasyuhu. Aluksha means Aruksha. Ralayor Aveda, who is compassionate and who is well versed in Dharma. So such a person you have to approach and ask your doubts. So if you ask such a person, he will, solve your problems, and then he can really guide you. In this particular aspect of knowing yourself, Guru uses a peculiar method. Only by that particular method you can understand yourself. Because it is very difficult to explain in words. It is very difficult to understand Atma. So he uses a very peculiar method which is called the Sampradaya. Iti susruma purvesham yenastad vyachachakshire. So whatever my gurus told, whatever the way they have adopted, so that I could understand Atma, in the same way I will try to explain you. Somehow they have explained. Guru uses two kinds of words while explaining the Shastra. The two words are Varnanatmaka Padani, Parchayatmaka Padani. Varnanatmaka Padani are used, and to know that you have to really have experience. Like, if you have a description of Kasi Vishwanath, then to understand and experience that, you have to go to Kasi and see that Vishwanath ji and experience that. Whereas Parachayatmaka Padani is the words which introduce yourself. So there is no special experience required. It is only the cognition. It is only the owning up of the Atma. Pujya Swamiji often tells a story. He was traveling somewhere in, from Delhi to Dehradun, wants to go to his ashram. By his side, the next seat, his side in the next seat, there was an American sitting and traveling along with him. He was so fat and he was literally crushing Swamiji and putting all his weight. And they were about to reach the Dehradun. By that time he asked, "Are you a Swamiji?" Then Swamiji said, "Yes, I am a Swamiji." "Then do you know one Swamiji in Rishikesh? I want to see him." So he said, "Okay, who is that?" Then he took a paper and gave it to Swamiji. In that it is written, Dayananda Saraswati Purani Jadi Rishikesh. So it is this Swamiji only. So all the while in the travel, the other person is experiencing the presence of Swamiji, but he doesn't know that so and so is the Swamiji. Very intimately he is, feeling his presence. He is putting all his weight onto him, though he doesn't know that he is the so and so Swamiji. Then Dayananda Saraswati ji told, "I am that Swamiji whom you are, looking for." So that is how the Atma situation is also in our daily life. Atma is very much there in and through our body. Because of that only we are feeling that sentiency, and we do not know. We feel that the body itself is the Atma. So we need to know this fact through a Guru. So Guru introduces the Atma to you, and then you can understand the reality. So this particular thing, Jnaninaha Upadekshanti, in that particular sloka, Tadvidhi Pranipatena, if you approach a Guru and do seva to him, then he will explain what is the Atma, and then you can get the advantage. So this Jnanopadesam is not just one-time meeting. This is a long exposure called Sravanam. So consistently for a long period of time, you have to get exposed yourself to Shastra, and then all the doubts that crop up, you have to resolve by mananam. After mananam, you get habitual obstacles that you have to resolve by nididhyasana. So by Sravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, you can understand your real self, that you are the Atma, and stay in that Atmanishta, you get the Anandam, that is called Jivan Mukti, and then at the fall of the body, you get Videha Mukti. This is the scheme. Supposing you approach a guru who is not having any communication, he may be knowledgeable, but sometimes they are not having communication skills. We may be having many teachers in our course of study. Some teachers, they are very good in subject, but they cannot express. Whereas, there are some other teachers who can express well, but they do not have subjects. Both are not useful. The guru must have the Shastra and also the communication skill. You have to approach such a guru so that you can understand your real self. 35th sloka we'll see. Yajñātvā na punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava yena bhūtānyaseshena drakṣyasyatman yadho mayi. So from 35th up to 37th, Paramatma is giving the jnana phalam, the result of this jnana. By knowing this jnana, what are the advantages? So he is presenting all the advantages in sloka number 35, 36 and 37. The 35th sloka Anvayam. He Pandava, yat jñātva tvam punaha evam moham na yasyasi. Yena bhūtāni aseshena atmani atho mayi. After gaining this jnanam, you will not get into delusions in this manner. Once again, O Arjuna, by that knowledge, you will see all beings without exception in me, as well as in yourself. Arjuna is the victim of moham. One of the biggest problems in the life is conflict. Arjuna himself surrendered to Krishna because of his what? Conflict only. This moham is called delusion in English. Delusion creates attachment called ragam. Because of ragam, you get confusion of dharma and adharma. You do not know what is dharma and what is adharma. Dharma appears as adharma, adharma appears as dharma. Like in the case of Arjuna, he wanted to fight adharma and get back his kingdom, which was confiscated by his cousins. So it was a dharma yuddham. It was a war to establish dharma. Arjuna clearly knows the purpose and the motive of this war. When he is right in front of his grandfather, Bhishma, and his guru, Drona, he is totally taken away by ragam. Delusion took place and he is totally taken away by raga. So he thought whatever was dharma earlier, he thought that is adharma. To fight in the war is adharma. So the confusion of dharma and adharma takes place, and thereby one gets into sokam, grief. Our inability to face future because of attachment, and attachment is the cause of conflict in life. Because of our emotional attachment is the cause of conflict, you cannot avoid decisions in the life. You cannot avoid facing future. Therefore, what do? You postpone and somehow escape. This is what is happening. This was the state of mind of Arjuna. So he surrendered unto Krishna Paramatma and sought the solution for this moham. So here Paramatma says, moham yasyasi. By knowing your own real self, you can be free from delusion. All the confusion will go away. Na chaitad vidmat kataranno gariyaha yadva jayema yadiva no jayeyu. So, hey Krishna, I do not know which course is better, whether to fight or not to fight, to be or not to be. Even if we fight, we do not know whether we can win or we lose. Therefore, the decision making is the most painful. And nowadays, we have got Rahu Kalam, Gudika Kalam, Yamagandam, all these things are there. So the first and foremost benefit Paramatma declared is Mohanashanam. You can be free from delusion, which is the greatest advantage. So you will know what is dharma, what is adharma. There is no confusion. The second advantage is Yena bhutan yaseshena drakshasi atman yadhomayi. Jivatma Paramatma Aikya Darshanam. You will know that all living beings, the entire creation, is resting in God. The entire creation is resting in God, and you will understand Viswadaram Gagana Sadrusam, the entire world is within the God, like space. Within the space, the entire universe is existing. In the same way, within God, God being Sarva Adhishtanam, the entire universe is existing within the God. So, in the same way, the entire universe is also resting in you, in that higher state of your nature. Your higher state is the Atma. So the entire universe is resting in Atma. Atma is Sarva Adhishtanam. Atma is the very essence of this entire universe. So the entire universe is resting in God. The entire universe is resting in you as Atma. So that means what? You are God in the real sense. You are God means not with the body, mind, sense complex. You should not mistake. Whenever we say you are God, You have to understand as Chaitanyam, as Atma, you are God. That means the essence of Ishvara, the essence of Jiva, both are same. The Adhishtanam of Jiva, the Adhishtanam of Ishvara, both are Chaitanyam. Therefore, Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. Jiva is equal to Ishvara in terms of Chaitanyam. So this is the second advantage. So first advantage, you are free from moham. So you know clearly what is dharma, what is adharma. The second advantage is that you understand that you are that very Ishvara in reality. When you have this reality, what is the advantage? Some people think that you become arrogant. You become arrogant when you think that the lower self we are referring to. When you equate the lower self, arrogance will come. We are cautioning every time. When you say you are that God, it is not the lower self. It is the higher self in Jiva, and the Chaitanyam part of Ishvara are equal. So when you have this reality in mind, when you stay in this reality, when this reality becomes your daily course, when this becomes a living reality, then you don't observe any difference between you and other. There won't be any Bheda Buddhi. The Bheda Buddhi comes because of Varna, because of Linga, because of money, and because of so many factors. I'm an intelligent person, the other person is dull. I'm a Jnani, he is Ajnani. I'm a Guru, he is Shishya. I'm male, she is female. I belong to this Varna, he belongs to that Varna. So this way, lot of differences we observe and keep distance between individual to individual. When you have this Jivatma Paramatma Aikya Drushti, the entire universe appears as you. So you are very compassionate with the world. When the compassion becomes the natural flow from you, the world also will be compassionate with you. This is the greatest advantage. 36th sloka. Api chedasi papebhyaha sarvebhyah papakruttamaha sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrujidam santarishyasi. Even if you are the worst of all sinners, you will cross over the entire ocean of sin by the boat of Jnanam. So twofold Jnanaphalam is mentioned earlier. One is called Mohanasanam. The second one is called Aikya Darsanam. Now Paramatma gives the third benefit in this sloka, namely Sarva Papa Nasanam. So you can be free from all papams, all sins. The benefit of knowledge is the destruction of your papam, which cannot be done by any other method. Why it cannot be done by any other method? Because the other method is what? Prayaschitta karma. Other method is Prayaschitta karma. In the Avani Avattam, that is in the Jandhyala Purnima, where you remove your old Jandhyam and wear the new one, you have a sankalpa. Anadi avidyan vasanaya. So this ajnanam is very anadi. It is coming from janmas. So because of that, we are accruing the papam and punyam. So papam and punyam we are accruing, and because of that papam, we have lot of pains and problems in this world. So all papam will be destroyed when you know this jnana, when you know your own real self. You can cross over this samsara sagaram by the boat called jnanam. If you mount onto a boat called jnanam, you can easily cross over the samsara sagaram. The samsara sagaram is full of misery and pain and lot of lamentation. All these things are there. So you can cross over this by jnana. Sarvam santarishyasi. Sarvam santarishyasi means all your sarvam vrujinam. Vrujinam means papam. The entire papam gets cleansed up because of jnana. A jnani is free from papam because he is always united with Atma. Atma is not having any papam or punyam. Papam includes punyam also. Papam and punyam both are not there for Atma because he is united and he is always in union with the Atma. There is no papam for him. So that way he can be free from all papam. Sarva papa nashanam. This is the advantage of jnana. So we have three kinds of advantages. The first advantage is mohanashanam. By the mohanashanam, you are not deluded. By delusion, you get the conflict that you do not know what is dharma, what is adharma. Dharma, dharma, vichakshana you will lose. But whereas by mohanashanam, you are very much in your elements. So you know what is dharma, what is adharma. And then the Aikya Darsanam gives you the equality and equanimity. That gives you that creates a great space so that you can be very compassionate with the world. And the next sloka, Yadhaidamsi samiddhogni basmasat kurute arjuna jnanagni sarvakarmani basmasat kurute tada. Hey Arjuna, yada sammiddha agnihi yadhamsi basmat kurute tada jnanagnihi sarvakarmani basmat kurute. O Arjuna, the fire of jnanam, jnanagni, the fire of knowledge, reduces all karma to ashes. Just as well-kindled fire reduces the fuel to ashes. In the Havan Kund, we put all the samidas, all the twigs, that is the fuel. So when the fire is well kindled, all the twigs will, they are reduced to ashes over a period of time. In the same way, the jnanagni will burn all the karmas. Here the word karma means the karma phala. There are three karma phalas, as you all know. One is called Sanchita karma. Karma means Sanchita karma phala. Karma phala and karma both are referred in the Shastra as karma only. We have to understand according to the situation. So Sanchita means Sanchita karma phala. Prarabdha karma phala. Agami karma phala. So Sanchita karma phala means over janmas, we have done so many karmas. Those karmas which are not fructified, which were not experienced, those karma phalas, they are accumulated. And these accumulated karmas are carried over to the next janma. This type of karma is called Sanchita karma. Then Agami karma. Agami karma means the karma which is generated, which is accrued by virtue of the action in this janma. In this janma, we do a lot of actions, good or bad. So all these actions will create the karma phala, and the karma phala is called Agami. Agami karma phala. Then Prarabdha. Prarabdha karma is, which is again Sanchita karma only, the karma which is ready to experience, which is matured, which is available for experience. In that Sanchita karma, a part of karma is ready to experience. And that causes our janma, that is the source for our janma, this janma. So whatever is in the prarabdham that we are undergoing now, that is called prarabdha karma. So all the karma we are experiencing now is due to prarabdham. The karma matured in the samchitam, made us experience this janma. So this is called prarabdha karma. So we have three kinds of karmas: Sanchita karma, which is accumulated karma, and Agami karma, which is the karma generated in this particular janma, and Prarabdha karma, which is already ready to experience. So these are the three kinds of karmas. Now, Paramatma says, just as the fire burns all the karmas, the fire burns all the karmas, in the same way, the Jnana Agni, the fire of knowledge, will burn the Agami karma and the Sanchita karma. Agami karma and Sanchita karma are burnt by the fire of Jnana. How? When you understand your own self, when you realize your own self, what is your own real self? Your Atma. You are not body, mind, sense complex. You are not Dehendriya Manobuddhis. So when you are not Dehendriya Manobuddhis, you are Akarta and Abhokta. You are a non-doer and non-experiencer. So when you are Akarta and Abhokta, there is no karma for you. You are Avyavahari. Avyavahari means you are not doing any actions. So, because you are Akarta Abhokta, you transcend from the lower self to the higher self. That higher self which is Chaitanyam, which is Atma, is not having any papam and punyam. It is not having any karma phala. As Atma, you do not have any karma phala. So all the sanchitam is not there. And Agami is not created. Why Agami is not created? It is given an example of a roasted seed. When you roast a seed, the roasted seed is good to eat, but it will not germinate. In the same way, for a jnani who is always united, who is owning up Atma, will not have any agami karma, because he is always with Atma, and Atma will not have any karma. Atma is not doing any action. So agami is not there, sanchitam is not there. What about prarabdham? Prarabdham will be there. Prarabdham one has to undergo. Prarabdham, because it is already set in motion, like the fan. You have switched off the fan, but because of the momentum, it will not stop suddenly. Once you switch off the fan will not stop suddenly. Because of the momentum, it continues for some time and then stops. So the prarabdha, which is already set in motion, will continue until it completes its a total momentum. The prarabdham is there, agami is burnt, and sanchitam is burnt. This prarabdham is also for a jnani, it is not there. Though he is experiencing at a lower level, a jnani is always in union with Atma. Therefore, even though he is undergoing prarabdha, for himself, in his mental plane, prarabdham is also not there. Because it is the body. The body has to undergo whatever is the nature of it. A jnani will not deny the nature of the body, mind, sense complex. The prarabdha is for BMS, not for Atma. Whereas jnani is always in the Atmanishta. So in his mental plane, prarabdha is not there. For others, when they look at jnani, they think that he is undergoing prarabdha. So this is the state of a jnani. For a jnani, sarva karma nasanam. In the previous sloka, Paramatma explained about sarva papa nasanam. Now in this sloka, he explains sarva karma nasanam. Supposing this is not happening, for ajnani what happens? He will go to a loka. Imagine that he does a lot of punyam and he goes to higher realms of heaven. Then he will enjoy all bhogas, and then once the punyam is over, exhausted, Chine punye mathyalokam vishanti. So once the punyam is over, he will be dropped onto the earth. Again he will take birth in the next janma. So this kind of journey will not be there. And ajnani keeps on moving from loka to loka, depending on the karma sesha. If the karma is having punyam more, then he is entitled for higher lokas. If the papa is more, he is pushed to the lower lokas like Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala. So these are the lokas of punishments. So he will undergo a lot of pain and misery. So that way he keeps oscillating between an ajnani keeps oscillating between the lokas. Whereas a jnani will not have any journey. He is free right here and now, and also free from punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam. There is no cycle of birth and death for him. In Mundakopanishad also it is said that tada vidwan punya pape vidhuya niranjanaha paramam samyam upaitihi. So the jnani shakes off all punyam and papam. Just as the animals, they shake off all the dirt on the skin, the same way jnani shakes off the punyam and papam. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam vraja. So Paramatma declared, if you stay with that real self, mam ekam saranam vraja means that the Atma Surupam, if you are resorting to Atma Surupa, you do not have any worries. So leave all your dharmas and be with me. I will take care of you. Then 38th sloka. Nahi jnanena sadrusam pavitramiha vidyate tatsvayam yoga samsiddhaha kalenatmani vindati. Iha jnanena sadrusyam pavitram na vidyate. Tat jnanam swayam yoga samsiddhaha kalena atmani vindati. So from 38 up to the end of this chapter, 42nd, Paramatma has given all the sanukula sadhanas, the sadhanas which are auxiliary for jnana, which are helpful for jnana sadhana or for acquiring jnana. Indeed, there is no other purifier in this world like knowledge. Prepared through yoga, one attains that knowledge in the mind easily in time. So now Paramatma wants to conclude his discourse in the following verses 38 to 42, in which he wants to talk about certain sadhanas, certain do's and don'ts. And in the first line of this verse, Paramatma talks about the greatness of that knowledge. Jnanena sadrusyam pavitramiha nasti. There is no purifier which is as great as the knowledge. Knowledge is the greatest purifier in the creation, even though there are many other purifiers. For example, Ganga Snanam is going to remove our sin. The Prayaschitta Karma, like Maharudram, Atirudram, they are also considered to be Pavitram. Pavitra means a purifier. And Namajapa also considered to be a purifier. Thus, There are many purifiers, and out of all these purifiers, Jnanam alone is the greatest purifier. They can only purify all kinds of papams, but they cannot destroy the great papam called Ajnanam. Ajnanam is also a papam. So this Ajnanam cannot be removed by Ganga Snanam, or by doing japa, or by doing dhyanam, or by doing some karma, or by doing charity. So to remove this Ajnanam, only you have to have Jnanam. Jnanam alone is the greatest purifier, because it can remove that Ajnanam. Mala nirbochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine. Sakrut Gitambasi snanam samsara malanasanam. So, the jalasnanam, you take daily bath, day in and day out you take bath, that will only cleanse your external impurities. Whereas if you take a dip in the Gitambasi, in the river of Gita, then samsara malanasanam. Samsara malam means the ajnanam. So many janmas we are under the impression that we are the body, mind, sense complex. We do not know our higher self. That is why we are in this cycle of birth and death. So this ajnanam can be removed only by jnanam, not by any kind of external impurities, not by any external purifiers, not by any other purifiers. Ajnanam cannot be removed by any other purifiers. Only jnanam alone purify the ajnana. Ajnana nasanam is possible only by jnanam. Therefore, the jnanam is the topmost purifier, and you can really get the advantage by jnanam. So, with this, we have got various advantages, and Paramatma is going to talk about the sadhanas and conclude this chapter. This is almost a concluding sloka for the previous topic called Jnana Phalam. In Jnana Phalam, he talked about 4 different topics. One is called Mohanasanam. By Jnanam, you can be free from delusion. This is the first one. The second one is Aikya Darsanam. You can have the vision of Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. Then Papanasanam. All your sins will be washed away. Then Sarva Karma Nasanam. All Punyam and Papam. Both Punyam and Papam will be washed. We don't want Punyam also, because Punyam is a golden shackle, Papam is an iron shackle. So both are shackles. So Papa Punye Vidhuya. That's what we have learnt in Mundakopanishad. So a jnani shakes off both Papam and Punyam. He is free from all karmas. Sarva Karma Nasanam. So having explained all these advantages, Paramatma finally concludes saying that this is the best purifier. Jnanam is the greatest purifier. We have so many purifiers in this world like Prayaschittam, Ganga Snanam and Japam, Danam, all these purifiers are there. But out of all these purifiers, the best purifier is the Jnanam. Because the other purifiers, they can only purify the papam. But Ajnanam is still there. So, to remove Ajnanam, only Jnanam you have to have. So, that is the conclusion. More we will learn in the next class. Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.